Hi guys, so today I'm reviewing the new Isuzu D-Max. This is an all-new model and Isuzu claims this is its most advanced pickup truck yet, a very big departure from previous generation D-Maxes that have always focused on qualities such as robustness, efficiency, being tough, no-nonsense workhorses. This one now finally has a skew towards lifestyle, design, and sophistication. And in this video, we'll examine closely how this stacks up with the competition.
Saved about 500 bucks.
You save about 1,000 plus.
To work out cheaper for me.
3,000.
215, even more.
It's for 200 plus, 400 bucks of savings. Okay, so to start with, the new D-Max sits on what Isuzu calls the dynamic drive platform, which is developed entirely new from ground up. The leather frame, which underpins the truck, consists of 8 cross members, and it is much more rigid than the predecessor model. So to give you some numbers, the twisting stiffness, which is the truck's resistance to being, well, twisted like that, is increased by 20%. Meanwhile, the longitudinal stiffness, which is the stiffness in this direction, is increased by 26%. Now in this new platform, Isuzu has also moved placement of the engine further back compared to the predecessor model. Benefits of this, there are a few. First of it, of course, is better weight distribution, more balanced weight distribution that would give the D-Max better handling than before. And on the safety front, there's now a larger crumple zone for better impact absorption during an accident. And in models with manual transmission, because the gearbox is shifted further back, it means that the gear shift linkages are now more direct, and therefore for manual models the gear change is also consequently improved. And moving further back, the long shaft is now made of aluminum, which gives it 4 kilograms of weight savings over the predecessor model. And you zoom in, the leaf springs now has only 3 leaves compared to 4 in the previous model. The advantage of this is that it reduces the unsprung weight of the rear axle and also improves the ride comfort, and that further re-emphasizes Isuzu's new development direction with this D-Max is to give it better ride comfort, better refinement, a more lifestyle oriented push of this truck. And they've also improved the braking system. Both the front discs as well as the rear drums are enlarged for better stopping power. Now coming back to the engines, the D-Max features carried over but improved powertrains from the predecessor model. The 1.9 litre base engine receives a new turbocharger, but outputs remain the same at 150 PS, 350 Newton meters of torque. The 3-litre engine that you see here is much more fundamentally changed. Right down to the pistons have been redesigned to give a new combustion chamber shape. They have also improved the injectors, they have improved the turbocharger, and they have also raised the air intake just below the bonnet. So this has the effect of, firstly, getting better cold air suction for better performance, and also it increases the wading depth of the car. So it means that with this new D-Max, you can actually go deeper into the water, 800 millimeters, which is apparently double from the predecessor model. So all variants of the D-Max come with 6-speed transmissions as standard, whether it's manual or automatic, 1.9 or 3-litre, they are all 6-speed. 4x4 is also standard in our market, and it's electronic shift on the fly. So one thing they've improved in terms of the hardware is that the switching between 2H and 4H at the transfer case level happens in 0.61 seconds, which is less than half the time it took for the previous model. Now, in this X-Terrain model, it also additionally has a differential lock for better off-roading performance, but the system automatically disengages once the speed exceeds 30 kilometers per hour to protect the diff lock from damage. So styling wise, this new D-Max is a much more modern looking truck than its predecessor. A very handsome looking truck, and in fact you can see that touch of flair from Isuzu with this, you know, this long running character line that goes all the way to the cargo bed, and then it swings down and it comes back here, and then you have this little character lines down here as well. And the proportions of the truck also has been made more dynamic, more sporty. Apparently they have raised the door sill level by about 20 millimeters. They have raised the bonnet line by about 15 millimeters, but the roof line has been dropped 10 millimeters lower than before. So what this means is that the overall proportions of the truck vertically is now being compressed a bit, so it gives it an overall subtle but sleeker proportions. Now, in terms of the styling details, we start with the front. In this X-Terrain trim, you got LED lights with signature daytime running lights, but overall design wise, they've also made the headlights slimmer, and that makes the front end looks more expressive than before. The large grille and as well as these incisor teeth-like pattern that we have seen in some form or another since 2 generations ago, the first gen D-Max, remains here as something of a design trademark. Now, this front bumper is styled with aerodynamic studies that were performed in the same wind tunnels for the Japanese Shinkansen trains. So yes, Isuzu does pay attention to aerodynamics, and this was there even since predecessor model Isuzu talked much about the aerodynamic work on the car, and at that time the consideration was very practical. Better aerodynamics equates to better fuel efficiency and therefore overall better running costs. Isuzu has always been very focused in terms of making their trucks as painless to own as possible, but with this generation model they have moved to widen the brief to include a bit of more style, a bit more sophistication. So you come close up here, you can see these are modern aerofoil wipers that not only have better wiping efficiency but also better aerodynamics, and they come with integrated washers as well. The windscreen is made of infrared absorbing glass, so even without tinting, not that many of you would not tint the windows, but even without tinting, there is less heat that is being let into the cabin. Now we come to the back. Tail lights have this clear lens design, LED illumination, the signal light, reverse lights. Here on the right side, signal light, fog lamps, and the tailgate, you have a reverse camera here and an easy lift tailgate where you can lift this with just one hand. This is a retractable tray where you can pull it out for you to more easily load heavy items and then push it back in and snap into place. And you can see also they have thoughtfully drilled holes here on this tray. It's just so that when you go for a car wash or when it's raining, the water can easily flow away. Now the doors have keyless entry. Good that the keyless entry button is available on the passenger side as well. So now I'm holding the key, and as I walk away, the truck locks itself. Okay, so imagine yourself in a hot sunny afternoon, the car parked outdoors for many hours, it'll be super hot inside, but thankfully with the D-Max you have remote engine start, and to activate this, firstly you have to press the lock button, alright, and then you hold on to this button at the top, and when you hear the beep, release, the engine starts itself. Okay, so as the engine runs, you can allow the air conditioning to cool the car whilst you wait, under shade or whatever. Now, as the engine runs, the car remains locked. You cannot open the door. Once you feel that you're ready to get into the car, press the unlock button. The engine stops, the door's unlocked, you can get in and you can get on with your journey. Now inside, the D-Max's interior is not only redesigned but built to a new philosophy. There is a greater emphasis now in moving beyond just ruggedness, beyond just utility, but also qualities such as design, ambience, environment. So let's step inside. A lot of thoughtful features here. You can see firstly this grab handle here allows you to get in and out easier. Okay, the door card here as well has a rather nice design, and the area here where you rest your arms, it has this leather, this soft material here, and on here you have this gloss plastic. This gloss trim is also replicated here as well, so that there's this nice design element here. Now of course, up here, all these are hard plastics in still keeping with the utilitarian roots of the car. They've given more attention and emphasis in enhancing the comfort of the rear seats. So rear passengers, now you have an extra 20 millimeters of shoulder room. There's more lean. The lean angle of this seat is 24 degrees. Not only that, they have shifted the hip point forward, so you sit in a more relaxed position compared to the previous model. Now I'm 170 centimeters tall and I've got a fist of headroom above me, so leg room is great as well. And of course, thigh support, given that this is a pickup truck, there's an inevitable compromise, but decent overall. You've got an armrest here with two molded cup holders, aircon vents, USB port with 2.1 amp charging, and this slot here for you to hold your mobile phones. And don't underestimate this, even though it looks pretty shallow, it's angled in a way that when you drop your phone inside there, it holds. And here there's a hook for you to hang your grocery shopping. So let's step into the front, and you can see straight up the design of this new dashboard is a big step up from the predecessor. The layering of the design exudes a far greater level of sophistication than before. Now, before I start the car up, let me just highlight the screens available. So here we have a 4.2 inch MID display, all right, for an instrument cluster, and here we have a 9-inch touchscreen. This is the configuration for the X-Terrain model as we are testing here. Lower spec models of course get slightly different setup. And let me just start the engine. Alright, so you can see it starts up. This screen shows a diagnostic and it shows you all the advanced safety features installed in the car. The cluster, great clarity, 2 simple dials and a nice screen here in the middle. Good resolution, good color. This is the button to control the screen browsing, and here this is the ADAS, which I will elaborate in greater detail later, but let us just explore the cabin first. So right from the top you can see soft touch plastic, okay, very premium. And you've got this compartment here which you can put items like, say, a smart tag or other things. Here you've got a double layered storage at the passenger side, and you've got this retractable cup holder. This one can double as a drawer, so basically you can just drop things here and just close it away. Here is the stability control off button, and over here this is an integrated screen, okay, a factory integrated screen, not a local accessory type screen where you got with the previous model. This is an integrated system with the car. So here, this is the dual zone climate control. Very good quality switchgear. Major step up from the predecessor. In fact, as we know, this generation of the D-Max is going to be rebadged by Mazda as the next gen BT50. And what I can say is that this cabin, if you stick a Mazda badge here and you put this in the Mazda showroom, this does not look out of place next to the Mazda 3, Mazda 6 and all those guys. So it is that good. Isuzu have really exceeded themselves here in this cabin execution. This is a very, very superbly designed cabin. And here, this is a nicely sized tray, the size of my palm, but of course could do a bit of rubberization on the tray. This is a plastic surface, but I think you can just put like a mat here and it'll be fine. This molded cup holders here, rather deep. Let me just show you. It's about this deep, okay, this much depth in there. Mechanical handbrake, and open the center console box inside there. Nothing in there, but because the USB port is already here. So on the safety front, all variants of the D-Max are rated 5 stars by ASEAN and CAT. The X-Terrain flagship variant here additionally comes with ADAS, and you can see from the top of the windscreen here, it has 2 cameras. All right, so the Isuzu's ADAS system operates pretty much like Subaru's EyeSight, pretty much like Pro-Duo's ASA system. There's no radar module in front. It works pretty much like the human eye, 2 cameras. Looking at what's ahead, the computer will compare the images that were taken by the left camera and right camera and calculate the relative angle with the object and use that to determine the distance. It's no different from how the human brain takes inputs, compares the visual from your 2 eyes, and we use that to judge the distance between us and objects in front. Okay, so to roll off the list of barang that is part of the D-Max's ADAS package, you have forward collision warning, you have auto braking, you have adaptive cruise control with stop and go assist. So basically in a traffic jam, the D-Max can detect that the car in front is stopped, bring the car to a full stop, and then once the car in front moves forward, you step on the accelerator, the car will continue. You have blind spot warning, you have rear cross traffic alert, so when you reverse out of a parking spot, the car will detect that there's another car coming, warn you to stop. It also has lane departure alert, but not lane keep assist. Why? Now, here's the interesting story. What I've learned is that Isuzu actually has developed 2 steering systems for the D-Max. Some markets have hydraulic power assist. Some markets have electric power assist. So Malaysia gets all variants of the D-Max with hydraulic power steering. Now, when you have hydraulic power steering, integrating lane keep assist is very tricky because the hydraulic power steering mechanism is very heavy and mechanically complex versus an electric power steering system, which is just a bloody motor. So in markets where the D-Max has electric power assist steering, then they have lane keep assist as well. But for Malaysia, because we get hydraulic power steering, we don't have lane keep assist. So one interesting feature of the D-Max's ADAS package is turn assist. Basically, it is a function that when you're about to make a right turn, it watches out for oncoming traffic from the other side. Now, another useful function is pedal misoperation control. So basically, if there's another vehicle or object in front and your transmission is in drive, you accidentally step on the throttle, the system will retard the engine's torque to either prevent you from hitting the car in front or reduce the amount of damage that you end up doing. Ouch. Now, as we know, in the last decade or so, pickup trucks have come a long way in their journey of modernization. But even as the likes of the Ford Ranger, the Mitsubishi Triton, the Toyota Hilux gradually moved towards the path of achieving greater refinement, greater car-like driving characteristics, Isuzu has always been content to keep the D-Max as a more utilitarian, a more rugged type of workhorse. But now, as consumer tastes evolved, even Isuzu has seen fit to make the D-Max feel more civilized, more upmarket. Perhaps they realize that just being rough and tough is no longer what people want in pickup trucks, even though you still need to have that underlying ruggedness. But consumers today, they just want that extra degree of polish in their trucks, and Isuzu has delivered it. So always, all right, we always see that. I've always said this: when it comes to buying a pickup truck to use as a workhorse, a pickup truck that you can abuse, your choices are always between a Hilux or a D-Max. When you really want to take the truck to gasak in the construction site, in the palm oil estate, in the rubber estate, to go deep into the jungle, you know it's always either a Hilux or a D-Max. I would like to think that Isuzu has not forgotten that part of their brief, but this is something that I think that can only be really tested by real world usage by actual owners. What I can tell you today, after a brief test drive out around in my neighborhood taman, especially now with lockdown descending on us and all that, what I can tell you is that the D-Max here is now become, in the context of urban use, has now caught up with the rest, and it is such a fabulous all-rounder. It is now supremely comfortable. It drives well. It's refined. It's so refined that I would say, if you want to compare with the competition, the Navara still gets the best in terms of overall comfort, but the handling is a bit iffy. The Triton still has the best handling in the segment, the sportiest handling in the segment, but the D-Max here is not that far off from the dynamic benchmarks that are set by the Triton and the Navara. If you compare with the Hilux with the Ranger, I would think that the D-Max actually drives better than both of them by a significant margin. Where the D-Max has exceeded the competition, I would say, is its interior presentation. The cabin now feels properly upmarket here. It really feels like I am sitting in a luxury pickup truck, right? That, as I said this earlier in this review, if Mazda takes this, rebadge this as a BT50, this interior does not look out of place next to a Mazda 6, next to a CX-5, Mazda 3, CX-30, all those. It does not, because Isuzu has leveled up their interior game to that point, to that stratosphere. It's such a big departure from the predecessor. So overall, as a lifestyle truck, the D-Max has definitely expanded its repertoire to be a properly civilized, properly smooth day-to-day operator that has pushed its brief beyond just utility, beyond just as a workhorse for you to abuse and that's it. So I would say right now, in conclusion, that in the sea of all pickup trucks, the D-Max now is convincingly the segment's best all-rounder, right, that you can buy and use as a day-to-day pickup truck that is fairly comfortable and nice to drive and easy, pleasant to live with. And not only that, and it's now fully equipped with the latest features that really puts it in the segment forefront as a pickup truck of choice. So this concludes my review of the Isuzu D-Max. It's going to be our last car review in a while, considering, well, we are on the verge of a lockdown again. But fret not, the Aurizn team from home, we will continue to be producing more videos, alright, to keep you guys entertained, to keep you guys company. Most importantly, guys, just take care out there, stay safe, and my best wishes to everybody. Hope that you stay negative. it's scary out there. At least today, as I record this, there's a noticeable drop in numbers to 6,999 new cases. But as we know, the new variants out there are way more contagious, way more deadly. So be careful. If you need to go out, mask up, maintain your distance, but as much as possible, be at home, spend this time with your loved ones. And those of you without loved ones, well, stay tuned. We'll keep the Aurizn team motivated, whipped, and we'll try to produce more videos for you guys to consume, and make the whole lockdown process just that bit more bearable. Okay, take care, guys. See you all again soon.